What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to another tier list. This time is Persona 5 music. Now, I'm joined, as always, by the man of 1,000 personas himself, Mr. KMK. Say hi.
Hi, I thought you said fursona.
I
was
did.
like, wait.
I did say.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Why would you say that?
Cause I thought it'd be funny. I literally have like
Oh my
10
God,
more to say. I have this all planned out.
I was like, oh, he's gonna say something cool, and it's like fursonas. Well, there goes my video. Wow.
But yeah. He's never played Persona, so he has a little fresher eyes on his music and a different take on him compared to me, so that's why he's here. And he also makes me, so check him out. I have a link to him in the description. Now, this is the third video in the series. If you want the complete rules, you have to go back to the first one, which was Persona 3 music. Just watch the beginning if you don't want to watch the whole video. And yeah. But that's the only complete rules. There will be one more video after this, and that will be basically the absolute bops from the 3 videos put against each other. It's gonna be fun. And so a slight change in that rule is basically we'll each pick our favorite song to put in the top spot, because otherwise it'd be us kind of butting heads on our favorite at that point. No, that ain't the most fun thing to do.
People, I'm guessing people will probably love it if it was like a little bit of a live stream, because like, oh my God, that would be awesome to do it that way.
We can do a live stream if you want. I'll do it. Just upload the live stream.
But, oh man, that's gonna be a long one. I'm gonna have to get a lot of root beer for that.
It won't be that long because there'll only be like 20, 25 songs maybe, depending on how this goes. I have a theory that this will have the most absolute bops, which that's just my bias. But I'll try not to be biased for the sake of this. Now, first up, we have Wake Up, Get Up, Get Out There. And before I play this, I'm probably going to be playing less of the music, for you guys compared to the other 2 videos, because they are very on top of, copyright with this. So, yeah, without further ado, we have Wake Up, Get Out There. That is the full version of the opening theme. So, but this is for Persona 5 Vanilla's opening theme. Okay, so this song, I love it because, again, this is the original opening song, and it kind of just tells the story of the game in a way. Like, if you want society to change, because the big thing with this game is, changing society, going against shitty adults that have all this power. It's like, if you want to change society, you gotta get up and get out there and do something about it, And, because I forgot to tell you the premise, basically, you can go into the other world, the metaverse in this instance, compared to the TV world in Persona 4 and the Dark Hour in Persona 3. And you come against the shadow versions of these, scumbags, basically, and they each have a palace. And and basically, you steal the treasure of the palace, because, you're thieves. You steal the treasure, you change their heart, and basically make them admit all their evil crimes. That's kind of what they're doing, and that's kind of, like, conveyed pretty well in this song. I never really thought about it till now. But yeah, this song definitely, it sounds good. It gets you in the mood because, again, this is kind of a jazzy soundtrack for the most part. So it really does sort of set the tone and the mood of the whole game, with this being the first track you hear. What'd you think of it?
It's actually pretty good. It's a little bit repetitious, but that's not a bad thing. I like the very funky bass line that it has, a very funk type of style. Gets you into the mood of like feeling good, making you get out of bed. It's an overall kind of a bop. If there was a little bit more breathability when it comes to stretching the sounds out and making sure that they sound well. Like if there was like a breakdown section of like the drums, it'll probably be a bop in my opinion. But being that it's just an opening song, it's not bad.
All right, so you say kind of a bop. I'm kind of
Yeah.
bop, so I'll put it here for now until we get a little
Oh
further
yeah,
on the
you're
list. Maybe our idea will change. All right, next up we have Life Will Change, and that is the so basically whenever you send the calling card, you guys send the calling card to the palace ruler in order to steal the treasure. So this is the song that'll play whenever you send it out and you run over through the palace to get to their treasure. This is the song that plays. And this is all a song that I got copyright claimed for in my Strikers video. So yeah, considering this is a song that plays when it's basically time to, go after the ruler and steal the treasure, it really does get you in the mood. And what I like is how it's a spin on Wake Up, Get Out There, because like some of the lines are sort of like twists on what this song has. And I really like that. And as for the song itself, I mean, it definitely gets you in like the with the bass and the drums in the background, really gets you sort of pumped up to go steal this treasure. So for me, I'm thinking around kind of bop tier personally. More
yeah.
I lean
I was
around here.
thinking. I think when it comes to like this song, this is what I was talking about. Where it's like there's a section where it goes into like a breakdown section of like the synths
Yeah, the
were
synths.
playing, and it was like a just a excuse me, just a synth solo where it was just like just the drums and then maybe like the bass line was going at it, but it was mostly the synth piano going and doing his solo, and it would go right back into the song. That makes it that brings breathability in a song to kind of to kind of give way so that the song can breathe and song can actually flourish and move forward. Um, so I would probably put it into bop only for that reason that like each of the elements have like their own time to shine and like none of them kind of overlap each other. So yeah, that was really cool.
I can get behind putting it bop. It's a really good song, and like you don't hear the lyrics from it until about till later in the game because there's 9 palaces in the entire game, and you don't hear it till like I think Palace 7's when you finally hear the music. I'm not sure. It's been a bit. But yeah, next up we have tension, which is basically for if you couldn't guess, tense moments. So yeah, considering this plays for again the tense moments, it really does sort of set the tone a little bit. And this really does remind me of the Tartarus hub area. Like it just has sort of it's so hard. I don't know what the word would be for like the background sound it's got, but
Soundscape.
yeah, the soundscape's very similar to the voice someone calls. I think from Persona 3. Love it.
It could also be atmosphere, but I think soundscaping is
Yeah,
more technical. But yeah, like when it what I like about it is that it kind of just sits on top, especially when in like the beginning it just has the strings and like the horns, and then the oh my god, it's like this. There's this thing called an amen break, and it's used in a lot of like EDM songs, or even like all it is just that it's a pattern to kind of break the drop or break the chorus or the verse up so that you know that it's like a different section. I like that it almost like the pattern. I don't know if it's like drums or like it's like a type of bongos or whatever, but they have
it
that type
sounded
of
like
pattern, and
bongos
it's
to
so
me.
cool. Yeah, it sounded so cool, and. But and I like that it just sits on top of there while like all of like the atmosphere sounds are like playing, the pads are just kind of going off. And again, it just sits on top, and it's not really like being abrasive like a lot of the other songs. It's just sitting there, being you know, acting as a soundscape or an atmospheric song. So I think it's a bop. I like that. I like that it's very subtle.
All right. See, one thing about this that I kind of enjoy that I just thought of is like the name of the song is Tension. It's for tense moments, and it kind of feels like it's building to something, but never capitalizes on it. Like it's like the tension, like when's it gonna drop? You know, and nothing, it never drops. So I kind of like that. What I put in bop though? I can go with bop for now. Um, I yeah, I can go with bop for now. I'm fine with that. The next up we have willpower. Now, so basically, whenever people awaken their personas, the battle following that, this song plays for it, and also plays for two other boss battles. Um, one's a very important. Well, I guess they're both. One's a palace ruler actually, and the other one's another important fight. So this is a pretty good song.
Bro, this sounds like Nick.
So yeah, consider this plays for again the awakening battles. When like thing is with the name and the awakening battles, willpower. Like in Persona 3, you kind of just had to have the potential to get a persona. Then you just shot yourself with the evoker. In 4, it was like, okay, I just faced myself. I admitted to the deeper parts of my personality. And here's my persona. This, like, oh yeah, no, you gotta go through like some serious like mental issues. You gotta work through that to get your persona. That's why willpower as a name for the song works perfectly for that. And also for the two boss battles that this song plays in, it works just so well for those as well. And it really does amp you up like for the following battle that this takes place in. Um yeah, I think it's to me it's kind of a bop to me. I like it.
Oh, kind of a bop. I was gonna say the same thing. It's a good it, especially with the intro, even leading into the actual song. It was really good at selling you. It just got you into it. Like, whoa, okay. Not a lot of songs do that. Um, but yeah, it's a really good song. It kind of just sits in the background, but you kind of still get the feeling like, hey, this is kind of serious. Um, Especially with the drums. Like I actually like these drums that they have for this one. It's a lot less acoustic. It still feels like somebody's playing them, but they're a lot less like acoustic sounding. Like they literally grabbed a microphone and like went into their basement and like played the drums, like that type of acoustic. But yeah, like it sounds really good. So far, there hasn't really been any songs that I've heard that are like, but at like not a bop or definitely not a bop. So
All right. Agreed on that. Next up, we have King,
yeah.
Queen, and Slave. Now, this is the palace theme for the first palace, first dungeon, whatever you want to call it. Now the dude who rules this dungeon palace. That's gonna. Oh my god, that's gonna be so hard not to call it a dungeon. Anyway, the palace ruler is this. He's this perverted teacher, but he's an ex-Olympian. So the faculty just sort of let him get away with it. And like this dude like abuses his students and things like that. And see his palace is a castle, which is just like how in Persona 4, the first palace is a castle. So it kind of has that. And so the name King, Queen, and Slave kind of works with it. Because he thinks of himself as the king. He's dressed as a king, kind of. And then, There's one of your party members he looks at as a queen, and then he sees everybody else as like his slave, essentially. So he's a
Oh, nice.
yeah. So this plays throughout the entire palace, basically. So yeah, no, like just stop, close your eyes. I want you to close your eyes.
Oh God.
Does this not? And just picture a porno. This song, this song is the perfect soundtrack to a pornographic film.
This is a 1970s.
Yes, it's
Oh,
exactly
so
what
bad.
this song is, and that's why it works so well. Because the dude's a giant pervert.
Pervert. Yeah.
Like his castle
Perverted
has
and-
pictures of like,
If you,
oh my gosh.
yeah, if you didn't tell anybody that that's what it was for, people would be like, "Oh, this is kind of a groovy." But the fact that it has this undertone of like this 1975 porno, and it's like
It's not undertone. It just straight is ripped up out of one.
yeah, like oh, that makes it so cool. I think it's kind of a bop. It's probably much more kind of a bop than the other two. It's in the front. Only because of like knowing that it's about this perverted teacher, and they really captured that so well with the song. Like it sounds super groovy, but yet you feel this undertone of like this sounds like it's part of a adult film. Like that's what it gives off. And
Yeah.
they did that really well. Not a lot of songs do that. They either have it as it's either like one thing or the other. It's not like both of these things, but they captured it really, really well.
The game is rated M for a reason. But thing about this song is like of the palace themes, whenever I think of a palace theme, I can't think of this song. Like, I know the song, but I can't think of like the beat of it. I can't think of the song. Like when I think of a palace theme, I think of something like freaking Whims of Fate or freaking crap. A Woman even isn't that bad. Where is that one at? Somewhere here. But yeah, no, I just like it just because it fits his character so well. And like he's a volleyball coach, and I know you haven't seen what his palace looks like, but like I said, it's a castle. But he has like these like statues of just volleyball girls' asses.
Oh no.
That's literally what that's the decor you see going around here. It's hilarious. Like it fits Kamoshida, which is a dude, so well. But yeah, moving on, we have Last Surprise. Now, Last Surprise in Vanilla is the battle theme. In Royal, if you don't sneak up on an enemy, because you can sneak up on enemies, if you don't sneak up on an enemy, just like in Persona 4, this plays if you fail to sneak up on them. But more often, it's so easy to sneak up on enemies in Persona 5 though that you'll rarely hear this track in Royal. But either way. You'll never see it. Okay, look. This song's absolute bop. Cause like this is the battle theme, and I like it more than Mass Destruction, at least the regular version of Mass Destruction from Persona 3. And like, oh gosh, like it's just so freaking hype. And like Lynn, who's the girl that sings pretty much the entire soundtrack, she just goes off when she sings this. Like, it's hard. I'm freaking stumbling over my words because like I just love this song so much. Like I actually like it more than the Royal Battle theme by just a little bit. They're both really good, but I like it a little bit more. But plus, like if you like pay attention to the lyrics, like it's kind of like the lyrics are kind of chatty, you know, like like oh gosh, like I love this song. What about you?
Um, I like it too. So one of the cool things is that that everything complements each other. So like her singing complements all of the instrumental the instruments. Even the instruments complements the percussions and the drums itself. Um, the um, just everything of the song complements each other in a really good way to keep you wanting to listen to it. Um, and I think it's an absolute bot. It has all the right things. The vocals aren't too evasive, not evasive, embracive. They aren't too like over the top. They're just the right amount of singing, and yeah, I think it's an absolute bot.
Yeah, I agree. But like I like the lyrics. Some lyrics like, "Don't you know what you're starting? Like you don't know how bad this is gonna go for you." And like it's just like the lyric. Like if you like read the lyrics or just listen to the lyrics, oh my gosh, it's so good. Uh, yeah, definitely a top song. Next up we have Layer Cake. Now Layer Cake plays for one shop. Because see, in this store, or not the store, Jesus. This game, all the shops have like a different theme, I'm pretty sure. And Layer Cake plays for the Airsoft shop, which is where you get replica guns. And because metaverse shenanigans, regular guns work like, or replica guns work like regular guns for some reason. Because cognitive shenanigans. I ain't gonna explain the whole thing, but it plays with the Airsoft shop. And this song actually inspired me to make this whole series because Yerba Tevin, who made the video about Persona music, he put this song really high, and I don't get it. But yeah, let's get to it. So yeah, no, it's not a bad song, especially for a shop. And plus, it's ran
Oh
by
no, I think it's kind of a bop. It's on
yeah.
the.
I'm right there
I
with
would
you.
probably put it at the end for right now, until we figure out. But I think it's good, especially for a shop song, especially for like the last ones where some of them were like good, but other ones were like kind of like not a bop or anything. I think this one is really really cool because it gets you in the mood to shop, but then there was a moment where it's like the horns kick in and it kind of gets a little bit upbeat. Like I like that.
Yeah,
It's a little bit better than most shop songs.
agreed.
But I actually want to show a quick video.
Well, I get
It's
copyrighted for this.
you could probably pause it if you.
All right, we'll be right back. You know, one thing about the name Layer Cake is like the guy who runs the shop, he kind of has layers to him, which I kind of like. So it kind of fits his character as well. But I don't know. I think the start of it's what sort of hurts it for me. Like after the very beginning, I kind of like it, but like I don't go in there for that long. So I hear the start of it quite a bit. I don't really get to later parts of it. 'Cause I kind of just know what I'm getting once I go in. But either way, I think kind of Bop's a good spot for it. Now we have Blood of a Villain. Now Blood of a Villain plays whenever you encounter the palace ruler. So yeah. All right, like the ending part of that song, it sounds almost like the beginning of or not the Imperial March. Like think of all I can think of was the Imperial March at the very end, but it kind of works as like this song is sort of foreboding and like because again you're up against the ruler when you this plays when you encounter him, when you're first meeting them and stuff like that. So like it also works for that part as well. And it just really does set the tone. They're really the Persona games are really good at setting the mood and the tone of scenes with their music, and this is just another good example of it. Now, as a song in of itself, I think it's kind of a bop. Maybe not a bop. Somewhere around here. I wouldn't put it too high.
I actually like the intro section, especially when the synths kicked in, and it sounded kind of EDM like. I like that section. It wasn't too harsh. It was just kind of just sitting there, which was really cool. It didn't like take over the whole entire song itself, which could have really screwed the song. But yeah, like it was kind of complementing, like it was sort of its own melody, like its own sub melody while everything was going on. So yeah, I think it would probably be in like the low, maybe I would probably say in the mid tier, mid section of the kind of a bop.
I can get behind that. Now we have Blooming Villain. Now this one is when you fight the palace ruler straight up. So except for again like a few like two off the top of my head scenarios, but for at least the early parts of the game, this one's what plays.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's just a freaking amped up remix. So yeah, no, as just a boss battle theme for again a good chunk of the palace rulers, this one just like when you get the like when it goes into that section, oh, it just takes off. Like the build up's really good at the start. Like with most of the general boss themes with the Persona games, I've kind of noticed like they start off kind of like, okay, this is a cool song, then they just take off. Yeah, I think to me it's a bop. I could be argued into absolute bop though. What about you?
So one of the cool things is that when the sections is when the parts are going off in terms of like the chorus and the verse, there's like this really cool ass sound effects going off. It almost sounds like Darth Vader's breathing in your ear. But what's really cool about it is that it's just in the background. It's just a sound effect. But if you listen really, really closely, you can hear it, and you're like, "Oh, that's so cool!" And because it's the same sound effect from the beginning of the song, so it's played throughout the song, but you don't really hear it because drums are going off, the guitar,
the drums are going off.
So like it's just there. Like it's not really doing anything too much. It's just there. I think the overall theme kind of gets you into the mood of fighting whoever you're fighting. Especially like it's just so unique
as a boss thing, especially.
Yeah, as a boss too. Like it really does get you into that mood. I will probably put into a bop.
I can agree.
So I don't know where to put it exactly, but it's gonna be in bop territory.
The tiers don't have to be in order.
Yeah. I would probably put it. I'll probably put it at the end just in case.
Yeah,
because we'll be adding more to.
It's kind of like just an amped up version of Blood of a Villain, which makes perfect sense because this is when you meet the ruler, this is when you fight the ruler. It kind of works in that sort of way. Now we have Regret. Now this is whenever you change the heart of the palace ruler. They a few days later confess their sins essentially. and their
Okay.
wrongdoings. So this is what plays during that. Oh crap! There we go. Yeah, no. So like this definitely conveys like the sad emotion, and like 'cause again, this is when people are confessing like seriously bad things like rape, abuse, theft, just killing, all kinds of things like that. So like it definitely. Oh no, I shouldn't have said those words. Oh well, too late now. But I'm gonna get hit with the well. If I got paid, I'd be hit with the demonetization hammer. But that's not now. One day. But yeah, no, it just works with that. I also like how like a little way into the song it starts having that like that sound in the background. It sounds kind of like a synthesized like clapper. Those little like wood blocks that are tied together, you just clap together. Like a synthesized version of those, and I kind of like that. Definitely like it adds some flavor to the song because they could have just had like been generally just slow and sad, but they add a little more to it just so it's not super
Yeah.
monotonous. I kind of like that.
Yeah. So like what's really interesting about this song is that I think I would probably say that it's probably the better because a lot of the other um scores that we've heard they have been kind of a in the realm of not a bop only because they're scores they're not like meant to, but this is probably the first score that I've heard in a game, at least in the personas, that I would consider to be kind of a bop only because it is very different. It has it brings emotion like all the other ones did, but this one really drives home that like there's something on your mind that you need to let off and you have to repent for it. And like the pianos and the strings coming in right after one right after the other, um the war drums kind of in the background to signify like something's going to happen, um and there's like everything coming together to really make this a immensely depressing but both relieving song. So I would probably put it into kind of a bop category.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Um, yeah, there's not too much to say about it. It's just very solid and does what it needs to do. It also brings to an end that section of the game, essentially. So it works just like that. Now we have Beneath the Mask. Now this is the general theme for the nighttime section. Like, kind of like how Persona 4 had that other one. This one is like completely different from that. I love it. Yeah, you only really hear this when walking around at nighttime. This is like the jazziest song on this whole soundtrack.
Hiding both face and mind, portrait for you to draw. I'm a shapeshifter, moments of calm, nothing left to be found. A mirror right in front of me, that's where I found.
So yeah, no, as like a general just walking around Tokyo at night theme, it works super well for that.
Yeah, they've in Persona 5, they've really amped up the song in the even though that it's a song that you listen to while just walking around, holy hell, it's actually I would say it is a kind of a bop and it's in the upper end kind of a bop. And here's why. The fact that it still has a lot of the elements of like all the other songs, but it's a lot slower, but it still gets you into the mood of just like walking down the streets of Tokyo, looking in through like a ramen noodle shop and just kind of just chilling out. Nothing really too serious, nothing really too amped up. You're just kind of laying back, kind of maybe drinking some tea in a cafe somewhere.
Well, it's funny
Um,
that you mentioned that. You actually do live in a cafe. Except
oh
except
yeah,
it's coffee though. It's coffee. Not
yeah.
tea.
Well, but yeah, like I mean, it's so there's like a lot of the elements of like the drums just kind of just sitting in the back, and while she's singing, it's almost like a ballad sort of thing where she's just kind of just singing, and everything else kind of just molds around her. And again, it's not too abrasive with her singing, like she's singing like her life depends on it, but she's also not like staying quiet. You can kind of just groove with her rather than just like feeling it intensified, like your heart is coming out of your chest. Like I like that. I really do.
Yeah, this just it's just such a chill theme. Like compared to the Persona 4 Night theme, at the very least, like the Persona 4 Night theme is a little more upbeat than this one. It's just really slow and chill, and also the lyrics also have meaning. The thing is, a lot of the lyrics in these, pretty much all the lyrics in this song, all the songs that you will hear, have meaning, and this one's no different. Um, it just captures. No, you said it's high kind of a bop. I think it's bop, so I'll just plop it right here. All right. Next up, we have Tokyo Daylight. If you couldn't guess, the song plays in Tokyo in the day.
At dusk.
At dusk, yes. No. Here we go. Okay, so for the general walking around, like, first off, Tokyo Daylight, this fits just the name of the song so well. Because, like, I was gonna say, it doesn't sound as good as Signs of Love or Your Affection from Persona 4, but, like, these are in two completely different settings as well. So it's, like, almost not fair to compare them, in a way. But just as, like, these two being put up against each other, I don't think it's as good as those. But I think it's still really good for where it's at. I would put probably low kind of a bop personally. How about you?
Yeah. There's nothing really that stands out too much.
Yeah.
It's a good song, especially for a song that is just meant for the daytime. Because I'm mostly guessing you're gonna be mostly walking from point A to point B to kind of just move the story along. Maybe sometimes talking to certain people along the way. So it kind of just it's just there. Um, but yeah, like it's really
Hang on
good.
one
I like
second.
it. No,
Give
you're
it. Give me just one second. Sorry about that, folks. Had some technical difficulties, but we are back. So as you were saying, okay.
So it just kind of gets you from point A to point B. Nothing really stands out too much. But it's still a good track. Maybe if like I could probably see if like a lot of people spend a lot of time kind of in the city, kind of doing their like normal teenager things or young adult things, then maybe I could probably move it up in the ranks. But overall, it's still not a bad song, but it's not really much of a song I would like. Unlike the one that we listened from the contrast of like the night song, this one is just kind of like it's there. It sounds good. All of the elements sound good. It's just there's really nothing special about it, you know.
Yeah. Now next up we have Mementos. Now I need to break this down for you. So you remember Tartarus? How I mentioned this giant dungeon, right?
Yeah.
So Mementos is the giant dungeon of Persona 5. You basically go there in between palaces, because it's the people's palace essentially. Now you go through it like basically in between every single palace. So you go there at least like that about 10 plus times throughout the whole game for several hours. So like you get your time put in. Now, this is the theme that plays throughout all of Mementos, throughout the entire game. See, with the other palaces, they take about 4 to 5 hours, depending on the palace, to complete. roughly. You're in Mementos for hours on end, constantly, back to back to back. So just keep that in mind while listening to this. So yeah, so okay, now imagine if I had to do like a guesstimate of how long you're in Mementos throughout the whole game in vanilla Persona 5 at least. Um, Geez, like at least over 10 hours, if not more. So like, it's a minute and 41 seconds this track, and you hear it just played on loop for hours on end. It's different from the Palace themes, because one, the Palace themes just are generally better, and you hear this so much more. Now in Persona 5 Royal, they did kind of rectify this. If you look down here, we have these other tracks from Mementos, but like, the theme originally didn't change till like the very end, like the last palace in Persona 5 Vanilla. So like, you go through 7 palaces before you finally get a change in the Memento soundtrack. So it's like the monotony of it, and also I don't think it's that great anyway. It's not a bop for me. So.
Oh, sorry, I'm yawning. What the hell? I think it's. I would probably say not a bop either. Only because it has all of the cool elements, but there's really nothing too spectacular that will make it into the not a like a kind of a bop or even up in the bop territory. I think this is probably the first song in the whole entire list that is not a bop category, and that's saying something because we have what 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, like 11 songs before we got a not a bop. I think that's incredibly well.
We got a quarter of the way through the list before we got a not a bop.
Yeah, because before we had like songs that would like go with like two, like we would play the first 2 songs which were like bops, and then we would have not a bop like immediately after, which was like not really good. But with this is like, okay, you go through 12 songs and you're gonna find a song that is not really that good. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah. And I will say the later Mementos themes that were added in Royal are better. They're not like with Taurus where they add like one element to the song before it finally completes it at the end. It's not like that. It's just they're similar songs, but they are different. Next up we have A Woman. Now this is for the second palace. Now let me break this down for you. So the guy who is the palace leader is an artist, famous artist, but he plagiarizes. Oh yeah, spoilers for Persona 5, by the way. Just keep that in mind. Sorry about that. But I mean, if you clicked on a thing for the soundtrack, you should know what you're getting into. But so this song is very like, there's parts throughout the song where it's like it's the same melody but a different instrument, which kind of plays into the whole he plagiarizes and he just slightly changes stuff. That's kind of his character, and that's why it works as a thing. Now let's get to it. So yeah, no. Like, just for a general theme, it's probably the most relaxed theme off the top of my head of all the Palace themes. But like, just the way like the instrument changes a little bit throughout the song, and then it's just but the same melody anyway. It's like it fits what he's doing so well. Like it's like the music's conveying his crime to the listener. And I love that. And now as a song as in and of itself, it's okay. Probably kind of a bop. I think King Queen and Slave is a little bit better, but yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I think it's so you said that he's an artist who is stealing
he
from
is
other
a
people.
so he's the famous artist, but he has pupils, but he steals art from his pupils
Oh, okay.
and writes
So
off as his
because like,
own.
I was like really listening in. Like there was a part in the song where like it has like a certain part where it's like I think it's like the piano playing a certain melody, and then the bells come in and it plays almost the exact same melody, and it's like
Exactly,
okay, and
exactly.
it's like it. But knowing the character, you're like, oh yeah, this is pretty much him taking it and claiming it as his. Like super cool. It's kind of a bop. I don't. I think it's. I wouldn't say it's like further up in up in the tier. I would probably somewhat say it's in maybe the mid to low mid side. Because it's not as good as like the other ones, but it's still pretty damn good in terms of
Yeah,
like themes and stuff.
yeah, definitely a solid one for an underrated Palace at that. I think Palace 2 is criminally underrated. It's one of the better ones in my opinion. Because like you're in a museum, it feels like an action. It feels more like a heist than some of the other ones. Next we have Suspicion, which is for suspenseful scenes. So yeah, not a very complex song compared to some of the others. That's why I didn't play it for as long. Yeah, I think it's not a bop actually. I think it's just okay. It definitely fits the theme of what's going for suspenseful scenes, but I think it's just not as a track. It just didn't sound that good to me. Definitely, I
Yeah,
wouldn't put this low, but
yeah. I mean, it's it's there. It's starting to get into the realm of like a score, but it's still a nice, really good soundtrack in terms of like what it sounds like. So I can't really say like it's bad, but it's not something that like I would like want to listen on like re. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's not really complex. Um, the bass line sounded really cool for from what I've heard of, like 3 seconds of it, and but yeah, like it's nothing too special, nothing too extravagant. Doesn't it kind of just gets a job done at kind of getting you from one point to the other. So yeah, I would put it in not a bop.
all right. I agree with that pretty much. Not too much to say about it compared to some of the others. Now, next up, we have Price. Now, Price is the third palace theme, and the third palace is a freaking bank. So think,
Ah,
you've actually heard this track before. I sent it to you once. Think Bank Heist. So yeah. So far, it's my favorite palace theme of the three we've listened to so far. I like when the bagpipes come in. It's so groovy, but also like at least at the very start of it, it sounds like something you would hear out of a bank heist movie. Like
yeah, it sounded very much like a 19. I'm gonna say like a
80.
1990 to a 2000s bank heist type of movie where it was like the Mission Impossible era, where it's like everything just sounded like super like super hyperbolic in the music, Hawaii 50 type of thing, but it sets the mood of like, okay, here's just a good old classic heist
Oh,
that you're gonna be
also the
going
guy
into.
you're going after, the ruler, is a gang leader.
That's cool. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, he's
Where I would have
greedy.
put it, Oh man, I don't really know where I would put it. I would it has a really good nice
It's up
theme.
here for me, around here.
Yeah, it's I would probably say a bop, low tier bop,
All right.
because it has a really nice theme. It gets you in the mood to really do a bank heist. Even with like the certain breakdown sections, it's almost like you're having a debriefing of like, hey, here's what we're going to do. You go here, I go here. We're gonna do this at this time. Like you're actually like being involved with the heist, which is really cool.
Yeah, and another thing to point out is like each palace has a different deadly sin attached to it. So the first one was the Castle of Lust, then we had the Museum of Vanity. This is the Bank of Gluttony. So
Okay.
that's another thing I forgot to mention. Now, next up, we have Keeper of Lust. Now, this plays for mid-boss battles throughout the palaces. But yeah, as a mid-boss theme, it's not as good as Blooming Villain, which is the general boss theme. So it works for that. That's not as good as this, but like, I don't know, something about it's not doing it for me. Like, I almost
So-
want to put not a bop, but like, I
Yeah,
think,
so
yeah.
I wanna. Yeah, it's really it's probably in a higher part of not a bop. Now, I already know that a lot of people are gonna be like, why don't you have it in not a bop? Well, with all the other songs, they stir up some kind of emotion. Even the one about the perverted teacher and shit,
Yeah.
that draws up some kind of emotion. Like it draws up like you're involved in the 70s porno. Like that type of emotion mixed in with um the grooviness that the song conveys to you is like excuse me, like even though that it's a rock song, and for a lot of people we've been listening to a lot of rock elemented things,
And jazzy.
there's a lot more to it than just having a cool ass guitar solo. Now there's a certain section where it has like those synths going in and out, which was really cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's really nothing kind of unique and make it kind of different than any of the other of the songs. So
Nothing
I would
makes it
probably put
pop.
in, yeah, like I want to put it into like higher end of not a bop, because it
can
still
get
has
behind it.
it has like a cool idea. It has a cool like theme, but it's just uh, um, the execution is just not there. So
Yeah. It's not that it's a bad song, it's that the other tracks are just that much better. Which tells you something about this game. And plus, I think Persona 3's mid-boss theme is actually better than this. So yeah, that's Keeper Lesson. Now we have the days when my mother was there. Now this plays for the fourth palace, the Pyramid of Wrath. So quick backstory: the character is a serious shut-in, like serious
In the-
shut-in. So basically,
an otaku.
Yeah, I guess you could call her that. Yeah, let's go with that. She's an otaku. But like basically, like she's just heavily depressed because, spoiler alert, she was blamed for her mother's death by some adults. This game hates adults, if you couldn't guess. But so that's kind of the thing with this song, and so it's also kind of sad. Again, like just look at the name. The days my mother's there. You know, she's grieving. She can't get over grief. That's why we have to go change her heart because You also need her help for stuff, but I ain't gonna go that far. And let's do it. So yeah, no, like it fits the fact that you're in a pyramid surrounded by a desert. Like it sounds like something that would be in an Egyptian style sort of setting. And like the thing is, the character's a big computer geek, right? So the pyramid's even like a little techno a little bit. So it also incorporates that bit as well into the song. And also it's also has the sad emotions, because again, this girl just misses her mom so much. So it's like all that combined, it's just, it really takes every little element from the palace and the character itself and incorporates it. I think it's a bop. It's one of the better songs among the palace themes, but for some reason I can never think of the song. It's weird.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of a bop. The really cool parts are like where the main melody is playing backwards, and sometimes in music, if you play something backwards, especially when it's like sad or creepy, it makes even creepier because it's played in reverse. And for a lot of people, playing something in reverse can draw up like even deeper emotion than just like, oh, it's creepy. Like this is like something that is a little bit terrifying. But with something like this, it's almost like it's broken in a way.
Yeah.
She is broken. Her mom died, and everyone's blaming her for her death. And it's like how can you really be a perfect person or be a whole person and go on with this? And the song does that really well of just saying, hey, this girl is broken and you need to fix her. So it's kind of a bop. It's probably in the upper end of the tier.
Would you say it's better than King, Queen, and Slave from the first Palace, the porno theme?
I would probably say that the slave. I want to say that the slave is weaker compared to it. So yeah.
So it's very close to bop. I think it's bop. I'll plop it here for now. We have more songs to go through, so I'll probably move it down if this gets too big. But yeah, of the four we've listened to so far, it's close between it and Price. I like Price a touch more. It's weird. I can never think of the song. I know the name of the song, I know where the song's played. I just cannot think of it sometimes, and it's weird. Same way for King, Queen, and Slave. I can't even think of what the song is now, and we just listened to it. It's weird. Like those two songs just don't stick in my head. I don't get it. But next up we have Alley Cat, which is the sad theme, basically. So yeah, no, as a sad song, it definitely fits the bill for that. But yeah, no, I think it's just a very good song. Um, not something I would like let's put on Spotify or something. But like when the pianos come in, or the piano, I should say, when that comes in, whoever's playing piano just goes off on that thing, and like that. I don't know. The melody's really good. It's not really repetitive to me, and like there's several elements throughout it that keep you like from getting bored of it. I think it is. Is it a bop for me? I don't know. Here, you go while I think on that.
I think because we already have like a precedent of like what is already like in this section is like kind of a bop. We already know what like it should entail for bops, what it should entail for absolute bops. But this song it's kind of hard because like we're starting to get into the realms of like songs that are really really hard to discern from each other, and it's really hard to like say. I think it's just kind of meh. Um, it still has good elements, don't get me wrong, but there's not really much for me to like stop what I'm doing and like really pay attention to the song and really groove to it.
I think that's kind of the point of it, though. You know, like you're meant to be paying attention to the story because it uses a sad story segment. You want to be focused on that.
Yeah, yeah. But but like when it comes to like what I'm meaning is like even when you're playing the story, you kind of just seeing yourself kind of bob in your head and maybe long. I don't really see myself doing that. But this, even though it's a sad scene, it doesn't really to me convey a sadness. There's kind of like a more like the elements are a little bit too harsh sometimes because like things like a piano or strings or cellos or well, cello is a string or even choirs can convey like sadness, but with this is kind of like a sad sort of ballad, which is like not necessarily sad, but it's like it's in that realm. I don't know. I would probably put it into super low end kind of a bop if I'm really being generous.
All right, I can get behind that. I would put it more higher kind of bop, possibly even into bop, but I think somewhere in the kind of bop tier is fair. I don't think as good as these. Now we have the spirit. Now this is when you so instead of social links you have confidants. So when you unlock one or rank up one, this is the theme that plays. Now this is a short song considering you're only on it. Like when you upgrade a confidant, it literally just shows you a screen of it ranking up, and then like you're kind of meant to just move on. So you're not really meant to be on to that screen for more than even 10 seconds. So like you only gonna hear like the first like 20 seconds of the song generally. But I think it's an alright song. It definitely, you know, has that triumphant feel almost when the horns come in. I think it's solid. Probably kind of bop. I think that's where I place it.
Especially because like you said it's just a song for when you're like leveling up. And yeah, I mean it doesn't sound too bad. It doesn't sound too. I mean, again, you're not supposed to stay in there for too long, so yeah, I think it's a kind of a bop. Well, actually, I actually don't know because it's. I mean, being that it's just in a way, it's almost like a score because you're not even like intended to like listen to it for an extended period of time. So I don't know. I'm actually stumped on this.
We can put it low kind of a bop if you want.
Yeah.
Alright, next up we have Break It Down. Now this is for, it just says relief. So, I guess when you're like relieved. I can't remember what songs what off the top of my head. Ah, yeah, okay. It is the chill song. So as a chill sort of song that's just there when you're hanging out, I think it works for what it's meant to do. I don't think it's overly good. There's not a crazy amount to the song. I'd probably put kind of bop. Yeah, not too much to say about it.
I mean, it's there. I would probably just put in not a bop, because it's just there's really nothing very unique about it. It almost feels like it almost feels like a song that you would find in maybe Persona 4, maybe 3 to be like really generous. Um, but um, but yeah, I mean it's still good, but I mean there's really nothing too special to unique for me to be like, yeah, this needs to be in like kind of bop. But yeah,
I hear you. I could see it in 4, maybe not 3. This in 4 soundtrack, I could see it. All right, next up we have So Boring. Now this is for school lectures. This is kind of like Specialist from Persona 4. Same sort of area where you hear it. Yeah, it's a very short song, just because again, it's only during the school lectures. They're not meant to be long anyway. Um, it's okay for me. I think like considering again, you only hear it when you have the lectures at school, and you're not really paying attention to those segments anyway. It's like it kind of just does its job. Really, it's there, accomplishes it, and yeah, I think it's just I think it's not a bop actually.
yeah. Again, we're gonna be getting into a lot more of the score songs.
Not yet. Next
It
up is the next palace theme.
Oh no. But
Such
yeah, I
a
mean, they it's it's good theme wise. It's cool, but yeah, I mean, being that you're not supposed to listen to it for like an extended period of time, yeah.
all right. So next up we have Sweatshop. Now this is for the fifth palace, which is the spaceport of greed. You're basically in space on a giant space station. Um,
Okay.
the palace ruler, um he owns this giant burger corporation, and the corporation works their workers to death practically. It's pretty bad. It's basically McDonald's. He owns McDonald's. That's the best way to put it. Um, so yeah, so he's very greedy. He's trying to he's literally selling off his daughter to this politician's son for political power, basically. That's why
Okay.
So he's the incarnation of greed, essentially. So like his boss battle, you don't even fight him. You fight a bunch of robots he sends out. All right, let's get to it. Now, many people say this is the worst Palace theme. I do not agree. Many people say
yeah.
Many people say it's repetitive. I do not agree. Where do I put it? I think it's an absolute bop, and I'm not even kidding. I think this song is criminally underrated. You are on a space station. It has a sci-fi techno
Oh
feel.
yeah. So
It's
if it's
good.
more in space station and science fiction type of robotic sounds, then it's absolutely a bop because it encapsulates everything that is robotic, that is science fiction, and some and like that's the thing is like is it repetitive? Maybe, but like there are certain elements where it just had like the drums and maybe some parts of like the synths playing in the back, and then the actual chorus hits, and it's just the sounds of like a actual robot playing like a guitar. Yeah, like it encapsulates that so freaking well. Being that now I know that you're on a space station, like
Yeah, and all your enemies are robots as well, practically.
yeah, that's really cool.
There's a
That's
few
really
non-robots. Yeah, see, like a lot of people put this
maybe
at the bottom. I'm like,
I mean, I can understand why it's a bop, but I don't really understand like why people don't really like even at best or actually at worst put it at kind of a bop. But the fact that you're in a space station, you're in space, everything that you're fighting is space oriented, like robots, aliens, shit like that. Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
You think it's absolute bop?
Damn good. Yeah.
All right. Really cool. Our second one, man, if elitists watch this video, we're gonna be crucified. Like, cause like the fifth palace is pretty much considered the worst palace in the game. I kind of agree and kind of disagree. I think the worst palace is probably Palace 8, which is funnily enough the last palace in Persona 5 Vanilla. But we'll get to that when we get to that. A lot of people think the 8th palace is also a very bad one. But let's see, a lot of people say the 5th palace is like the equivalent of a regular RPG dungeon, which is like kind of saying a lot. But either way, next up we have Run Run Run, which is when the palace collapses, because basically when you steal the treasure, the palace starts to collapse and like disappear because you've taken the treasure. It has no other reason to exist anymore. Yeah. Those bongos had no right going that hard. Like, bro, like here's my thing. Even at the slower parts, the bongos and the drums are keeping the tempo fast even when it seems like it's going slow. Like, it really has, like, dude, get the hell out of Dodge. Alright? Like, I've never listened to the song all the way through. I think it's high bop, possibly absolute bop. Like, I think it's a very good. You think it absolutely?
Yeah, it has really cool elements. I don't really understand how people don't really use a lot of percussions like bongos and war drums and stuff. Like they are really really useful. Mostly bongo type drums. They are really really extremely useful for like giving the song a little bit more texture. Like you said, when there were slow moments, it was still fast paced because the bongos kept the same rhythm. So yeah, I think it would probably be in a bop tier.
You think bop?
It's not an absolute bop yet, but it would probably be in the upper end of bop.
Dude, the comments on the video, this is hilarious. When the fire alarm goes off and you're on crutches. When you're in the bathroom during recess and the bell rings. I love YouTube comments sometimes. But yeah, I think I can agree with Bop. I agree with it. Now we have the Whims of Fate. Now a lot of people think this is the best Palace theme. This plays in Palace 6, the Casino of Envy. Now, again, this is a casino. you actually have to play casino games to progress. Very dumbed down versions, but you just have to play them to progress. The boss fight even is like a giant roulette wheel. So a lot of luck fits. So yeah, that's just, it's good. It's good.
So we know the dice, see where they may fall. Come on, why don't we spin the wheel? Leave it, lose it, oh yeah. Take a lesson, keep your focus away from your children. I still be once the ball tie on the card guy. Tell you about his design. So give in to another vice. See where it might lead. Come on, let's just enjoy the spice. Life and feel so free. Give in to temptation.
Okay, look. Okay. This is the only Palace theme with lyrics, which is one thing. And Lynn, who sings pretty much all the lyrics in this whole game, is a freaking like monster at singing. She just kills every performance she does. If you hear her live, oh my gosh. But thing about this is another thing I forgot to mention is the Palace ruler is she's part of the public prosecutor's office. And she's actually a woman. Now, I don't know if you know this, but in Japan, prosecutor is more of a male-oriented thing, so a female being in it's a bit weird. So she's kind of like oppressed in a way. And so she also has that envy, you know, because she wants that sort of position, that position of power that she's not able to have because she's a woman in Japanese society. Now, freaking like this song is an absolute bop. I mean, come on, dude. Like you're in a bright, cheery casino and you have this song playing, it's freaking bopping. You had like the bongos, the bass, all the background instruments just form perfectly around the lyrics, like that song from earlier. Like I think it's absolute bop. Probably the second best Palace theme, next to one, which is number 9, but we'll get to that. How about you? What'd you think of it?
I think, oh man. So being that it's a song about a woman being a mostly male-oriented job, gives almost this feeling of that basically any other woman can do what I'm doing because I'm doing it first. And heck, if I'm able to do it, of course you can do it. And almost gives this um, revolutionary theme to it,
Interesting.
like being like, oh, I'm any woman, or even in history of just in real life, women had to fucking deal with a whole lot of bull crap from men and male oriented stuff even to this day. And to see that this woman has like her own like sort of theme song of, even though that she's envy, the sin of envy, her song is very powerful, and it has a lot more of a revolutionary undertone that like, hey, I'm a woman, I'm here, I don't care what you guys say, I'm still going to be here tomorrow. Like that's really cool. I think
Thing
it's
is,
probably a bop.
she's still kind of a villain, though, is the thing. Like, because she's a prosecutor and she's leading the investigation to get you guys arrested because technically you're considered bad guys because you're vigilantes essentially. So she's kind of leading that whole thing. So you kind of gotta go change her heart to shut that down. Plus, she's kind of lost sight of her goal, and now she's just like power. I have to get to this higher position. So it's kind of like one of those things where like when you lose sight of your goal, that's kind of what she's done. But like again, like the Whims of Fate. It just also fits in with the whole casino theme as well. Very solid song. Um, yeah. So next up we have Ark, which is the seventh Palace theme. Now this is on the Cruiser of Pride. You're on this big old cruise ship. The villain is part of the crap. He's in he. They're having an election for a prime minister, and this guy is he's running for it, but he thinks that the reason it's a ship is because he thinks he's the only one that can lead people. Like he's the one that has to take control because people don't know what they're doing. He has that pride because he thinks he's so much better than everybody else. And he's like a complete trash bag. Like he's done so many bad things that I won't mention for spoiler's sake. But yeah. And there's something very interesting about the song that I'll point out in a minute. Okay, one thing I want to point out. If you remember the song Tokyo Daylight, this song is a remix of Tokyo Daylight, which fits perfectly because he wants to rule Japan basically as a prime minister, and it has the remix of the Tokyo theme incorporated into it, alongside all of those freaking French horns and stuff. It's like, first off, that's a Toby Fox move. You ever played Undertale? Toby Fox will take a song, change it slightly, and make it a completely different song for a different character or scene, and you wouldn't know it unless you were told it. And I never noticed that it was a remix of Tokyo Daylight till I was told it, and I'm like, wow. Like, first off, brilliant move by Atlus to do that. Like, again, it fits his character, it fits the theme of the palace and everything. Like, this dude's so prideful that even his theme is taking stuff from people, thinking it's like it's almost like he's thinking this is a better version of Tokyo Daylight almost. If you want to look at it like that, like
okay,
that's how I like to think you could perceive it in a way. But like, yeah, I think it's a solid song. Can be a touch repetitive, but again, the French horns save it from that. I put it bop. I don't think it's absolute bop. It's not that good, but I think it's bop. I think it's alongside Price.
I think it's kind of a bop. There's really nothing too. For me, there's really nothing too like spectacular apart from that it's a remix. But even then, there's like the thing about remixes is that you don't want to change it. Like you can change it to make it a little bit different, but to have with this, it's like it's not. It doesn't feel like a remix. It just kind of feels like its own different entity.
Exactly.
Which a lot of remixes are, but like they have some of the semblance of something that it's remixing. But for me, there's really nothing too extravagant. It's still a good song, being that it's a remix of the other one, but really nothing too big stands out.
Yeah, like I like it. Like they remix song and they add so much to it to where you wouldn't notice it unless you were really paying attention or had it in the forefront of your mind. So you said kind of a bop. I said bop. To keep this tier from being too saturated, we'll just put it low bop. Now this next song is one of the best in the whole series, Rivers in the Desert. Now this plays. Crap. Where is it at? I gotta scroll down a little bit. So it plays during 4 battles in the game. 2 of the battles are hidden battles. One is the first stage of the final boss, And the first time you hear it is during the boss that this palace, the Ark plays in, is for. Yeah, let's just get to it.
A river in a dry land, the leopards in a lost land, a heartbeat for a demon, oasis in a strange land. A river in a dry land, the leopards in a lost land. When I hop off new beginnings, burn our feet. Now we need it, a heartbeat for demon, oasis in a strange land. When a cool drop of water's all I need, gotta clear my head of anger and greed. A place to refresh heart and mind, creating rivers in the desert.
Alright, listen here. This song is so freaking good. Like, it is pumped the whole way through. Then when we get to the a cool drop of water, like, it just slows down, gets really chill, and then it just goes right back to where it was. Like, Lynn is crushing it on the singing. Like, the drums in the back are killing it. Just, and also the lyrics as well. The lyrics have so much meaning to them. I just love the song. It's absolute bop in my eyes. What are you thinking?
Probably not an absolute bop, but it's a bop. High in the high end. It still has like a really good groovy theme. Even with the breakdown section where it goes a little bit slower and then it picks back up. Kind of just give a little bit of breathing room so that the other parts of the song can kind of have its moment to shine. Actually, I don't know. That's actually really good. The singing is absolutely incredible no matter what.
Lynn's
It doesn't
unstoppable.
oh man, I don't know. I actually don't know. Wherever you want to put it is wherever you want to put it.
I don't want to put a song in absolute bop unless we both agree on it. Because, like, this is the top tier. If we don't both agree on an absolute bop, then I don't want to put it up there. So, do you think it deserves to be alongside Last Surprise in the Sweatshop?
Yeah.
Yeah? Alright.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Now, that is Palace 7. Now we have Palace 8. Freedom and Peace. This is actually the depths of Mementos. Because in Mementos, you constantly go down floors. Well, you had this song to play the whole way through. Then you finally get to the depths, which is the 8th palace. Now, I believe it's the... Is it the Jail of Sloth? I think it's the Jail of Sloth. Because, see, basically, you change old homeboy's heart at the end of Palace 7, but people act like they don't care. Like, whatever. So what if he did all this stuff? Which is really weird, because he's probably he's like the worst person of all the rulers so far. Like, so that's why, and so the main enemy basically has people under its control. So, like, it's like, well, humans don't want to think for themselves. That's what we told to do. That's why it has freedom and security. They're opposing bits because we are the freedom of going against security. Yeah. So let's get to it. All right, so here's one thing I kind of like. So all the citizens of Tokyo are in jail cells basically, because it is like the prison of sloth, jail sloth, whatever you want to call it. But what I like is that the melody is Tokyo Daylight's melody, because this is based. I saw a comment talking about this. I didn't catch it. This is basically like an everyday sort of thing for the prisoners, the citizens. So that's why it has Tokyo Daylight, the everyday theme, as sort of a melody playing in it. It feels like they took Tokyo Daylight, they took the Mementos theme, they mixed it together, and they added some sugar, spice, and everything nice, and we got this song. I actually liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I remember not liking it, but now I'm like, huh. I think it's in the bop. I could be argued up to absolute bop, but I think it's a bop. There's an
I
argument to be
think
made.
it's not a bop at all.
Really?
It's not an absolute bop. It kind of just feels like it's more of just like kind of like a doctor's office type music. Nothing really too special. Nothing overall. Like it just kind of feels like there's just really not much going on. There's cool themes in it, but they don't really utilize it really well to kind of like do anything with it.
So you said not a bop?
Yeah, not a bop.
Alright, so we'll meet in the middle and it goes in kind of bop. Alright, now we have Confrontation. Now this song plays when the final boss appears. This isn't his battle theme, just when he first shows up, essentially. Now it's a very short song, but again, this doesn't play for a long time anyway. But like, I just like the foreboding of it. Like, yo, it's on. The boss is here. Things hitting shit's hitting the fan. Get ready, cause it's about to go down. Like it ticks all the boxes for what like should be, at least for me, a good like. Oh, here's the person you're about to fight. Like it just hits all the marks for me. I like it a lot. How about you?
Shit, yawning. God, I'm super tired. But I think it's really good. I like that it has a really nice like progression of like bringing tension. So I think it's man. Well, being that it's only short, I can't really like put it in like bop tier, because if it was like really like it was longer, then I would probably say put it into bop. But
Well, if you sit on the screen for long enough, it'll loop.
yeah, but like I want it to be like an actual song from start to finish, you know.
Yeah, I
It
gotcha.
has like a progression and stuff, but overall I think it's a kind of a bop, upper tier kind of a bop, because it has all the things for it to be a full-fledged song.
Yeah. All right, now we have Yeldabaoth, which is the final boss. This is his battle theme. Check this out. Before we say anything, I'm gonna go on to the next song because the next song plays directly after this song. When you pull out your freaking your ace in the hole, essentially.
Sounds good. Sounds really, really good.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, the reason why I played the two back to back. Let me explain real fast. While we were watching Yeldabaoth, I looked in the comments, and this person made a good point. The song itself is a battle. You have the harsh for Yeldabaoth. You have the harsh electric sounds of Yeldabaoth battling the guitar of the Phantoms. They hold different sounds throughout the whole song, and in the next song, Our Beginning, we see the Phantoms have won because it is only the Phantom Thieves' part. That's why I played them back to back. Yeah, that's basically what happens. Like, you're battling and Yeldabaoth, and when the fight's over, you pull out your ace. It's just the Phantom Thieves part playing. It's genius, I tell you.
It's probably absolute bop.
Agreed. That's
Yeah.
brilliant. I can't believe I never noticed that.
Yeah, because like that's the thing about themes is that if you have a theme that is going into the next song and it seems like I thought it was just one song, but that's good because that means that they really thought about like, okay, what would happen if you're like at this point in the game, what happens if you do this? Well, this part of the song will play, or this part of the song will stop playing and it will go into the next song, but you have to make it seamless to make it feel like you're almost watching a movie, and they did a really good job doing that.
Yeah. So,
Not really much to say on that, but
honestly,
just good.
it's just a good boss theme as well, not to mention. I now appreciate this song so much more now I looked at that comment, though, I will say that. Now, we have one last song from Vanilla Persona 5. And it's called, With the Stars and Us. So this is the ending theme. Alright. Ending theme. For an end credit song, that's also 7 minutes. That's a bop. I could push it to absolute bop, but that's kind of depending on what you think. That's just like Lynn is unstoppable. Like,
So okay, so she sings incredibly well, and fuck my glasses. So one of the things that is like bothering me the most about it is like the drums. Like it, the contrast of the drums are like super off-putting for me because like it goes from like this super slow paced drums and then it kicks off with this acoustic drums and it's like why? Like she's singing so fucking well, but the drums make it seem like it's like overpowering somewhat, and it's like, no, you shouldn't do that. Like maybe change out certain elements of the drums, like the crash cymbal into maybe a ride. Maybe it would be a little bit better on the ears, but for the most part, it's like the drums are trying to like compete with her, and it's like, why would you do that? Thank God that she was singing because it would have probably been in the not a bop tier if it was. I would probably put it into bop because she fucking absolutely saved the song from that.
yeah, she's a beast. And the thing is, like, your main character at the end of all this is going back to his hometown. That's also why the song's a little bittersweet, because it's also talking about that a little bit. Like, you know, I'll follow my heart, even though, like, they're gonna be separated. It's just, I like that as well. Probably, I like the, as an ending theme, I think I like it a little more than 4's. I don't know if I like it more than Memories of You, though, from 3. That's a tough one. Alright, now we get to the Royal tracks. First up, Colors Flying High. This is strange. This is the opening movie song for Royal, whereas Wake Up Get Up Get Out There is for the opening one for the vanilla version. But it's strange. This isn't the full version. We have the lyrics to the full version, but we don't have the full version. They haven't released it. It's very strange. But yeah, let's just get to it. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna lie. I got a little emotional listening to this because I was like, wow, I'll never be able to play Persona 5 for the first time again. That kind of hurts a little bit. But like, oh, it's such a good song. I wish we had the full version of it. I've looked for it. They just haven't done it or something like that. I don't know. But I think it's an absolute bop. I think it's right up there with Wake Up, Get Up, Get Out There.
Really?
Yeah, I think like, maybe it's more of a like a emotional thing for me than like it. I think okay, maybe bop, Try to put my bias aside for a moment. I think it's more like bop tier. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it's an impactful song, but like because I don't have like an attachment to the series, I don't quite like understand understand like why you would put it into absolute bop. It's a good song, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's probably partly due to the emotional attachment to it.
Yeah, because when I was listening to it, all I could think of, I was like playing the intro movie in my head, and I got a little sad. I was like, oh, I want to play it. But yeah, just yeah. Well, how about what exactly did you think of the song, though?
Overall, it's a really nice song. It's kind of like all the other bop songs. It's it has its own like uniqueness to it in a way. I really don't really have much to say about a lot of these songs.
All
Um,
right.
luckily, but to be fair, luckily we don't have a song in like not a absolute
Definitely not a
absolute
bop.
not a bop.
Definitely
So
not a bop.
yeah, like we don't have any of those. So yeah, I'll probably put it in just bop tier,
All right.
maybe mid tier.
Oh, okay. Fair enough, fair enough. I thought you meant kind of bop. I was like, you crazy. You crazy. Nah, so now we have Takeover. Now, this is the battle theme when you ambush shadows, which is pretty much every single fight, because, like, Persona 5 overhauled the dungeon crawling aspect, and it's kind of child's play to sneak up on enemies now. So you're gonna hear this way more than Last Surprise.
You actually thought that you can get away with skeletons in your closet. Don't think so. We can't reveal the truth up to the public. With your hands up on to surrender. We do not live by your rules. Dirty word. Your ego has driven you out of truth. Take over, stop the beat down. Make over, nothing's gonna fade away. My life was over when you started with that shoot the white mark of me. I'm saying game's over. Take over, stop the beat down. Make over, nothing's gonna fade away. My life was over when you started with that shoot the white mark of me. I'm saying game's over.
Okay, now this is not bias. I think it's absolute bop. Yeah, I don't think it's as good as Last Surprise. I don't think it's as good as Last Surprise. It's not Last Surprise. It's like right below it for me. But like, my Persona 5 playthrough is 129 hours. So you can imagine how many times I heard this song play, and I still love it. That tells you how good it is. Honestly, I just like the lyrics are just like Last Surprise in a way where it's like, yo, it's time. Your time is up, boy. You done goofed. Now you incurred the Phantom Thieves come steal your heart. It's just, yeah. I mean, for a battle theme, I think it's. It's like Mass Destruction almost for me in terms of how much I like it. I don't know, like Persona just has really good battle themes. The only one I'm not the biggest fan of is like Time to Make History from Persona 4. But like the main battle themes, like they're all really good. Yeah.
I mean, being that it at first I thought it was just a regular bop.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. But then when it actually went into the chorus, holy hell, everything just kind of crescendoed into it. And I'm oh yeah, this is impactful. Her singing mixed with the harsh horns, it's a bit bim, like it has like a very much like a swing style going on, and it's so cool. Like so yeah, I like it a lot. It's in absolute bop tier.
Yeah. The singer's name is Lin Inaizumi. I might pronounce it wrong, but yeah. She's just like Lotus Juice from Persona 3 is fodder compared to Lin. I'm just saying it now. Like he's not bad. He has some good songs, but Lin like has not had a bad performance this entire video. She's just too good. Now we have Gentle Madman. This is the very last Palace's theme. Now here you're probably well. That's kind of like counter like that doesn't really match Gentle and Madman. Well, here's the thing. So the final palace is the Laboratory of Sorrow, right? So the final palace ruler, he's not actually a bad guy. So basically, he can warp reality for reasons I will not explain. He can warp reality, so it basically puts everybody in like this he warps the world where everybody's like in their perfect scenario, like dead people are now alive, people certain situations never happen, so everybody's basically living like their ideal life, but it's not the real life. But he thinks this is the best option for everybody, so that's why Gentle is in there, because he's the nice guy, but Madman because his thought process is crazy, basically.
Okay.
So that's kind of the best way to put it. Alright, now, Persona 5 Royal is my favorite game of all time. My second favorite game of all time is Kingdom Hearts 2. Now, this song reminds me of the world that never was, its theme. But, thing with this song, I like it. Like, the main melody, the piano melody, is very gentle. But there's that background synthetic sound that kind of like incorporates the Madman aspect of the song, and also like it gets that like something about this is not right. Like it's just the two main songs, or not songs, sounds you can hear in the song kind of like contradict each other, but it works in this song, which also works for his character. He's a great character, and also just it conveys his like personality and all that stuff as well. I think it's my favorite Palace theme. I would say Absolute Bop, because like again, like that beginning melody with the piano never gets old for me. Yeah, it's good. It's very good.
It sounds good, but in my opinion, I think it's meh tier. I would probably put into kind of a bop.
You dare. I kid. So you said kind of bop, I said absolute bop, we'll put in bop. Really? Interesting. What wasn't doing it for you?
I mean, like after a while, like it starts to like kind of just start going meh, especially after hearing the songs like Absolute Bops and Bops. It's kind of like hard to like really like find that song that is like in that same realm, and it's like a lot of them are starting to sound kind of like walking through a mall music. Like,
oh no, you're cracked. You're not gonna be on the next video. I forbid it. Nah. You're done. No, I'm kidding. Alright, I see what you're saying. Yeah, just with me, it's like one of the biggest things with Palace themes is the first like 20 seconds are the most important part to me. Because again, every time you get out of a fight, it restarts the song. So at the beginning of it you don't like, then you're just not, then like the rest of it almost doesn't matter as much, in my opinion at least. That's why I like it that much. But now you have So Happy World. Now basically again, he twists reality. So this plays instead of Tokyo Daylight when he's like messing with everything.
okay.
So I think this song's okay, but I want to point something out. The forefront's really like calm and chill. Like everything's alright, everything's perfect, and the background's like insanity almost. Like so high intensity in the very background. Like, yeah, this isn't right, this shouldn't exist. Like it's again like there's so much meaning there that I do appreciate it a lot. How like they're really good with symbolism in the songs in this game, I'll admit that. But just as a song, I think it's just kind of about it. I like it a little more than Tokyo Daylight, but I think it's just okay. But also, it has like this synthetic sound as well, because again, this is a fake reality created. Because his whole thing was like, I think it's called idealism or something like that. Like he could like create things to where they actually exist. It's not like an illusion; it's like reality. So it has that synthetic sort of crafted reality. Like it just conveys all that in the song, and I think that's brilliant. But as a song, I think it's just kind of a bop. Maybe bop. What about you?
It's a kind of for me.
Alright, so we're in agreement.
It's more, but again, if it's based off of like if it has like the same theme as like when you're walking around in the daytime, then like it's not really to me. It just like again like a lot of these songs are starting to sound like like there's really nothing more to them, which kind of sucks because all the other songs are have been really good. So
Alright, I gotcha. Now, we reach the Memento songs. Now, there's different sections and layers to Mementos, just like with Tartarus. So, but you go down instead of up. Now, regular Mementos, this song is still in Royal. It just plays for the first like 2 sections. Then we get upper, then middle, then lower. Then we get new layer. New layer comes into play during the 9th palace when the dude starts messing with reality. All right, now let's go to upper layer. So yeah, it is different from the regular Mementos theme. Well, I do like how like it incorporates more instruments and does change the way the song goes. So it's not like, oh, this is just Mementos with an extra instrument added like in Tartarus. But also, I like the unsettling piano, like halfway through that unsettling piano in the background that doesn't really match up. Because it's kind of like we're getting deeper. We don't know what's at the bottom. We find out what's at the bottom, of course. We don't know what's at the bottom of Mementos. So it's got that sort of creepy factor as well incorporated. I really like that. It's kind of a bop, I would say, personally. Yeah.
it sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't go above kind of a bop, at least.
No. Yeah. Probably at low tier, kind of a bop.
I can get behind it.
A lot of these songs are starting to like become just more like walking sim songs, and it's like really really hard to like I already know that a lot of comments are gonna be like, wait, you're just saying that because Lin is not on it. No, not true, because there's a lot of songs that Lin is not on. They're just fucking so. So yeah, it's starting to get a little bit tricky to like to even get it past the bop.
Well, don't worry.
Kind of a bop.
Once we get to these last 4 songs, then it's on. I'll be right back in 1 second. Alright, sorry about that, folks. Let's see, so now we finished upper layer, now it's time for a middle layer. So we're getting a little further down in Mementos. So yeah, definitely more to this one than the last one. I do like when the strings come in later on into the song, 'cause it definitely adds a whole another layer to it. Kind of like how we're going down in the layers.
Yeah,
But
it's a lot more. It's a lot more. It's a lot more. How can I describe it? It's a lot more darker in its tone.
Yeah.
because it's starting to get a little bit more serious.
yeah, definitely the darker
It sounds
tone.
really good. It's I would probably put it in kind of a bop, but in the upper part of the kind of a bop.
I can agree with
It's
that.
starting to get pretty nice.
All right. Now we have lower area. Now we're this is the area right before we get to the depths, which is where Freedom of Security plays. Let's go. Definitely more intensity. So definitely way more energy in this. The piano, which in the last one was a little quiet in the background, the piano is brought to the forefront. You hear the guitar in the background, which sounds way more intense compared to the last one. Like as you get deeper, the songs definitely get more and more energy put into them. So I think this one's actually a bop. I think it breaks in
Okay.
the bop tier for me. What about you?
Okay. I don't know. Like I feel like it is intense in some parts, but I feel like there if oh man, I don't know. I feel like it's too much more. It's too hype for it to be intense, in my opinion. Like so man, like I don't know. Like I feel like it's more in like not a bop in my opinion, where it's like
Really?
they try too hard to add too much rock into it, like rock elements to it, whereas like too much of that can actually be a bad thing. It's like so
Interesting. Alright, so I think bop, you think not bop, we'll meet in the middle. Interesting. Alright, now we have the last Memento song, New Area. So this one happens during the third palace. I just want to say there's a lot more to this song than meets the eye. So yeah, it's like a twisted remix of the original Mementos theme. Like there's a lot to it. So like when the horns come in, that's part of our beginning playing, but right as it's about to get going, it cuts off. Cause see, in the game after you beat the final boss, or at least the original final boss, the metaverse disappeared. But now it's like he brought it back, and like the villain of the Ninth Palace, he brought it back. But like again, he twisted it so like it's like one like it's supposed to be gone, but it's not gone. Like he spliced it back together. It's like it's actually kind of crazy how much goes into this song. Because you could just say, "Oh, it's just the original song remix," but there's so much more to it than that. And I find that so cool. Now, it's probably kind of bop for me. Like, it's still a huge chunk of it is just the original Memento song, just with some changes like the guitar in the background and things like that. Like, it's definitely its own song, but it's like, it's definitely better than the OG Memento song, but I can't put it higher than kind of bop. But I do appreciate all the stuff that went into the song.
Yeah, I would put it into not a bop. It's not absolute not a bop, but it's just not a bop. I mean, the theme is still there. There's a lot of cool stuff that they added into it, but there's just not enough for it to like get any higher than kind of bop. So or even get into kind of a bop territory.
I'll put it low kind of bop then. I will say though, whether you like these themes or not, at least it's not hearing the one theme the whole game. At least we got 4 extra songs that were put in as well. So instead of hearing one theme the whole way through, you hear 5 different themes, you know, separated. Definitely keeps Mementos from being super like unbearable. But yeah, no. Compared to TARDIS, I hate TARDIS. I must be honest. Now we have, I believe, now the day of the heist for the Ninth Palace. This is the song that plays. Yeah.
I believe we can fly up in the sky. One day we may just be able to touch down on the star. It's time to show everything we got to find a way out from this evening rush. Our life is happening in front of you right now. It's time to seize it. It's earned. And I believe we can fly up in the sky. One day we may just be able to touch down on the star. After all we have to go, I believe we can fly up in the sky. One day we may just be able to touch down on the star. Oh.
Alright. I think this is the best song in Persona 5. Now, let me sort of break it down why I feel this way. This song is everything that Persona 5 is. Like, it talks about the ideals of the Phantom Thieves. How, like, this fake reality isn't right because it's not earned. It's not what should be. It's just, it captures their ideals and everything they strive to be and fight for. And just the music as it is, just the sound of it, it's got like all the best parts of all these other songs. Not saying like it incorporated them, just saying like it has like those same like bits. Just like the high energy moment, the low energy moment, Lynn singing, you know, that's not the best part. But like it's just got everything to it. it's absolute bop for me. And also like again, this song you play as you're running up to go fight the final boss, and it's just got a lot to it. I think it's absolute bop.
I think it's better than the ending credit song.
I agree.
It has everything that like it should, like, and that's the thing is like with the drums, they fit so perfectly because it just kind of sits on top and makes the vocals pop out even more without actually being like too abrasive with like the attack that they have. Of course, the wonderful singing by
Lynn.
by her is just phenomenal, as always. So yeah, I would probably put it into gosh, it's an absolute bop tier. I know it's much better than the end credit.
It's
But
absolute.
I'm not sure if it's absolute.
Oh, come on.
I'll probably just put it into high tier bop.
Oh, my heart. Oh.
I have to be fair because
Yeah.
I
Damn you. Damn you. No. This hurt. That hurt me a little bit doing that. Shit. Okay, I'll get through it. I'll get through it. Okay, next up we have Throw Away Your Mask. Now this plays, so as with every JRPG, the final boss has several forms and stages. This is for the final stage of the final boss.
Don't sleep through dreams. Don't sleep through dreams that can't come true. No more tears shall drop from your cheeks anymore. You no more tears shall drop from your cheeks anymore. You want me to strive for greatness, believe in me that you don't need to suffer from anything no more.
Alright, this song, so what an interesting thing about the song, it's coming from the perspective of your enemy, not the Phantom Thieves, which is a very cool twist on it. And cause he's like, look, like, don't throw away your dreams. I can give you basically your perfect reality. Just accept it. You don't need to have these sad moments. You don't have to have loss. No, you don't have to work hard anymore. It's like because the dude really does. It's so freaking good. Like it gets his emotions across and still tells the story of their sort of conflict. Like, why are we fighting? You can get everything you ever wanted if you just, accept my reality. But they're still fighting against it. So it's like, I believe and Throw Away Your Mask are just two opposing songs because of how it is. This song's a bit more slower tempo compared to I Believe, which is another opposition part of that. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but that's something I just noticed. It's just like, I do love it, and I think this song is almost as good, so it's also absolute bop for me. But I'm curious to see what you think about it.
So, like, one of the things is that it has a really good structure, really good just a really good tempo throughout, really good keeping you engaged with it, being that there's actual story going on. Like it keeps you going forward to try to find out like why the heck are these adults doing this, or why is the bad guy just being bad.
Well, it's not he's being bad. It's like he just has it's just his thought process is wrong.
Yeah, right. So, and like that's the thing is like sometimes I mean like people think that Thanos was, but in reality, was he really bad? Like, I mean, like his method was horrible, but I mean,
think about
his
this.
thought process was his thought process was, there's just too much of us. There just needs to be less of us. Like, I can agree with that, but yeah, it kind of conveys that, yeah, like he's not evil in his mind, but he's just trying to have the best solution for what is going on.
The thing is, he's one of those villains. The reason why a lot of people think he's the best villain is because he makes you go, you have a point at times, like you yourself. And it's like, because he kind of does, and like you kind of want to accept the fake reality because again, everybody's happy. It's like it's like if you wrote like a fan fiction where everything goes the way you want it to. That's what his reality is. But it's like it's not right because it's not real.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, he's such a good villain. And that's why I really like this song as well, because again, it's the opposite of I believe.
I think the fact that I think the fact that we're talking about this so much probably makes it an absolute bop tier.
Heck yeah. But I believe can't. Nah, I'm playing. So next up we have Ideal and the Real, the end version. There were I think there's like two other versions, but I picked the end version because it's the best version. There's two. So these last two, Our Light and Ideal and the Real, are the ending themes. So Ideal and the Real plays if you accept the perfect reality. Our Light plays if you go for the true ending and deny the reality. So they're kind of opposites in that aspect. So here we go with Ideal and the Real. Alright, so a few things about this. Well, again, I looked in the comments of the video while we were listening to it, and I found someone that commented something that basically is exactly how I feel. Like, it sounds so peaceful and happy, but something's really off about it. And, like, up to this point in the game, the background music has conditioned us to associate the clean chorus and the vibrato guitar with sad scenes, but this one changes it. And another thing is, again, this is the quote-unquote bad ending. But another thing is, and at the end of this end, it shows a picture of all the Phantom Thieves together, but two of them are looking directly at the player, like, are you sure this is the right ending? Because like they're kind of aware of what's happening, and they're like, did you make the right choice? Are you sure? And it's like, did I make the right choice? It's like, there's some layers to this. I like it. I think it's a bop. A low bop, but a bop.
Kind of hard for me because it's more of just like being that it's like the what happens when you choose the pseudo like good ending. I'm guessing like or is it like just like played throughout like the end of the game?
This is the credit scene for the false reality ending.
Okay, so I mean, it's to me, it's not a bop because it's just credits and
All right,
a
kind of
lot of
bop it
there's a
goes.
lot of cool stuff with it, but other than that, it's kind of just there.
Bro, I will give you my PS4 for like a week and a half if you want to play the game. You need to play the game. I will lend it to you right now. But we have one last song. One more song. Oh, one other thing I want to point out: this next song, "Our Light," actually has lyrics. This one does not. Another thing that makes it feel incomplete. Because the other ending theme for the original game, yeah, it had lyrics, but this one does not. As a matter of fact, the ending credit scene for every single good ending has lyrics from all 3 games, but this one here does not. So it's another thing like, this isn't the right ending. Go back and do the true ending. But like, I don't want it. Everyone's happy. But yeah. So now, last song, "Our Light." Now this plays after you deny the perfect reality. Alright, now look, if you understand the meaning of the song and you've seen the lyrics and played the game, the song hits you differently. But, because, like, the character it's referring to in the song, and all other stuff, it just, like, it really gets you in the feels. Sadly, she didn't do an English version, so I had to look at lyrics to this one, but, like, dang, does it really hit you hard. Now, the song in and of itself, I kind of want to go absolute bop with it, but I'm fine with bop. I'm kind of sitting around this area.
It's better than the last one that we heard. That's for sure.
Agreed.
I don't think it's any higher than what we have. I don't think.
You think it's kind of
But
bop?
again, I don't have an emotional attachment to it.
Yes.
I don't really have to really say.
So you think it's kind of a bop?
Yeah, it's not really.
Alright. I shall put it low bop then. Little bit of the middle. And that is the list. Oh, it's finally over. Now, these songs. Last surprise. I cannot believe Sweatshop is this high up. Oh my gosh. Rivers in the Desert yelled about our beginning take over and throw away your mask. These songs will be paired up with the other ones from Personas 3 and 4 in one final video where we will rank them all and put our favorite songs up against each other and have our top one picked. But like I said before, Kay will pick his favorite and I'll pick my favorite, and those will be the two we have at the top. One thing I want to point out, there was not a single Definitely Not a Bop in this entire track. Now I'm sure if I had gone with every single song, we eventually would have found one that goes down here, but like I picked some of the main songs, and the fact not a single one went this low is impressive. So yeah, so what did you think about it?
Overall, I think this is actually an immense improvement of the last two that we looked at. Being that, like you said, there's not a single song that we found at Persona 5 that was a definite not a bop, which is again like an immense improvement. But there are still some that are not a bop. But
Agreed.
I'll take that any than having like at least one or two definite not a bops. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting from what we choose as like the ultimate song that rules them all.
Without a doubt. Man, what a trip going through all these songs. I kind of want to play Persona 5 now, not gonna lie. But with that being said, there will be one more video coming. It'll be, as I said, all these on the top, paired up. That will be coming, depending on how Kay feels, probably next week. And remember, I now have an upload schedule. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. There'll be a new video. That way there won't be like a month or two without me uploading. That's happened before. It will not happen again, hopefully. And if you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'm begging you. I'm on my knees here. And also there will be a link to KMK's channel in the description, so please be sure to click on that. Give him a subscription. He's great. Does make some good music. And yeah. With that being said, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. See ya.